girls of your day. Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine. City so lively, gotta make it mine. From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view, there's something special here, you feel it. Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine. A city so lively, gotta make it mine. From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view, there's something special here, you feel it too. Your host Dani, here to guide the way with a big smile. She brightens up your day, girls of your day. Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine, a city so live.
Good morning, Frederick. Today is Thursday, July 11th, and I'm your host, Dani Gurry. This is show number 72. Craziness. It's really hard to kind of believe that it's only been since April 1st, but we've been rolling along, and thank you so much. Yesterday, we reached 550 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate it, and we are well on our way to the 1,000 by September. Again, everybody just needs to invite one friend, and we're there. I love it. If you're a business and you're thinking about sponsoring Good Morning Frederick, or you want to be interviewed, actually, you know, it's funny. I've reached out to people because I'm planning the 100th show, which is coming in August, and there's going to be a lot of great stuff happening with that, and I am going to need your help because I have a couple goals, but I do also have several rewards for you for doing so. But anyway, we're going to be talking about that coming up closer to that date, but somebody, Rick Weldon, who is the president of the chamber, posted that he was going to be featured on the 100th show, and someone underneath said, hey, I really hope I get invited. There is no inviting. Everyone is welcome. Welcome to be interviewed. Even just cool people in Frederick. If you're doing cool stuff, you don't have to own a business. You don't have to run a nonprofit. Maybe you've just been a part of Frederick for a long time. I love that. That's a great story. And in fact, today I'm talking to Greg Morton, and he's a Frederick County Sheriff's deputy. He doesn't own a business, but he's a really cool guy and has a great story. I think we all have a great story. So you're all invited to be interviewed. I'd love to talk to you all. And anyway, I just, I want to put it out there that there is no applying to be on the show. Just tell me you want to be on, and I'm going to send you a link. You're going to sign up on my calendar, and we're going to chat. And it's fun. It's 10 minutes, and I think you'll find it's really kind of cool. So if you know somebody who's got a great story or has been around Frederick for a long time, or a local business or a nonprofit, I would love to have you. But if you're a business and you want some exposure, I'm telling you right now is the time to jump on board, because we are closing in on 100,000 total views across all platforms. Now think about that. If you are somebody like ANS Construction, We Help You Move, Dreamscape Slumber Events, the people that have been with me for 5 days since the start, all in one events. If you've been with me for 5 days since the start, there's 100,000 views with your brand on it. And it continues to grow, let me tell you, because I have to manually do a lot of the number crunching. And I am going to post the results of where those numbers came from. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. And I'm just so grateful. So anyway, if you want to be a part of it, just let me know. Both Good Morning Frederick and the Facebook group Everything Frederick and More are all about giving back to local organizations. And I will say it again, if you're not a part of Everything Frederick and More, what are you waiting for? 130,000 of your closest friends are in that group, and it is a great resource to get recommendations, find out what's going on, and of course, this show streams in Everything Frederick and More every day. But anyway, we are supporting 2 local organizations, and we are still short of our 200 pairs of shoes goal for Souls of Love, which is closing in. My deadline is in about 9 to 10 days. So I have 10 days to get about 90 pairs of shoes. Now, if you're a local business like Positive Technology, that was the one I kept forgetting and I apologize, or Ken's Transmission, who can donate $500 or more, and you get the tax deduction because you can write the check to Souls of Love. If that's you and you can do that, and I would be forever grateful, then I can shop for your shoes and I can turn that cash, that donation into shoes to try to reach my goal. So if you can't do that but can do $20, $50, $100, and you don't care about the tax deduction, then you can send me the money directly through PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. All of that is on screen, and I'll take any amounts. $5. Maybe you got some leftover money in your Venmo accounts, like $10 and change. I'll take it. I'll turn it into shoes. And I want to thank those people who have given whatever they can afford. I get it. Times are tough. If you don't have the money, don't fret. There are always plenty of ways to give back in our community, and we will let you know about those at all times. Also, we are collecting school supplies for Stuff the Bus. That ends on July 19th, I think, because they're going to go around and collect it. I think it's on the 20th of July. So both of those deadlines are approaching. So if you want to help, now is the time to do so. All right, on today's show, you'll meet Renee from Renee's Music Studio. She's been teaching piano and voice for 20 years, and I love how she utilizes technology to help her students. And Gary Morton, you may recognize him from the June issue of Frederick Lifestyle, but he's been serving this community for 16 years, and I had a great chat with him about his role as a Frederick County Sheriff's Deputy. Chris Michaels and Bob Miller join me from WFMD's Morning News Express for all your local news, weather, and sports. Plus, as always, I've got all your giveaways and the events for the week and the weekend. And all of that is happening right now. So let's get going. A huge thank you to We Help You Move, whether you're moving across the street or somewhere around the country. I mean, we hate to see you go, but it might be simpler if you call Nick and his team of moving experts at We Help You Move, because at least your move would be relatively stress-free. I mean, the furniture part, the packing the truck, and all of that, Nick and his team have that covered if you want them to do that. The moving part, I know, is terrible, but you might as well try to make what you can easy. We Help You Move is veteran owned and a huge supporter of our community of Frederick. And Nick is happy to answer any questions, making sure maybe you have a friend in another state who's using a mover and you're not quite sure if they're legit, because I've seen these videos on social media about people's stuff being held for ransom, which is horrible. Anyway, give Nick a call, or Michelle. You can talk to her there as well and ask. He will find out for you and make sure the companies are legit, because he's a great guy. WeHelpYouMove.com. All right, let's find out what is happening with our local news, weather, and sports. Bob Miller and Chris Michaels join me right now. Well, good morning to you both. How are you?
Doing great.
I am fine, thank you.
Bob, did you notice that intro theme that we have is a very serious news type intro. It's like you hear that type of intro when there's bad news on the horizon.
Well, actually, you just expect some professionalism, which maybe we ought to update that a little bit.
Professionalism for me and Bob.
I think maybe the tune to Benny Hill, Yakety Sax, or something like that would be better.
Or maybe Three Stooges intro. Three Stooges intro might work too.
Yeah.
Professionalism, that wasn't part of my contract for WFMD. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
I love it.
Good morning, Dani.
Good morning to you. So what is happening? Anything good? Do we have any good news today?
We're here.
I want to go real quick. You sent us a link. I want to discuss that, or are you going to discuss that later?
We can discuss it.
Because I just got a glimpse at it, and so you obviously have looked at it a little bit more, and it has something to do with voting. It
does. So, I think as an American, we should all be concerned about, some of the laws that have changed in recent times on voter registration and when somebody can register to vote and what is required to register to vote. There is a government link. It is through Social Security Administration. So if you go to ssa.gov, what is it, / I think it's, let me look it up here. Anyway, what the link tells you, it is ssa.gov/HAVV. And what this report gives is a weekly breakdown of the number of people who have registered to vote by state, and they are registering with a social security number, and it breaks down how many social security numbers are inaccurate, how many social security numbers that someone is registering that are tied to someone who is deceased, and how many social security numbers that are registered this week, but were previously registered with a voter already. So I think it is very disconcerting to see the numbers, the sheer volume. I think I said to you, to check out certain states like Arizona and Pennsylvania just last week registered 90,000 people. Yeah. And many of them, the Social Security numbers are not adding up.
Pennsylvania.
Those are dangerous states, because those are states that could determine the election as of right now between Pennsylvania, definitely Pennsylvania is a state that could determine the election. So that's really scary. I saw that too.
Yeah.
The non-match is what you got to go through and take a look at that. And it's very a real quick, brief story. I have a friend of mine who is a landscaper, bricklayer type of job, and they hire people from other countries to come in on a work visa, and they have to have, I guess, a social security number of some sort or some kind of information. And so they ask for it, and then they do a check. And he told me one time they did a check, and it was they're like, it came back from a 85-year-old man from Arizona who was dead, and it said, this is not right. And the guy goes, hang on a second, I got another one.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And, right. The people who hire people like that, we need to punish them.
Well, what is that called? That's called not verified. What is it? There's something that came out years ago that allows employers, again, to check. And I know what the argument is on the flip side of people with the no ID thing. I think that argument is ludicrous in this day and age, because you need your ID to do everything in life. You can't even get a cable box without ID. You can't get an apartment. You can't do anything without a valid ID. And it's frustrating that this is not, it's a simple thing. And every state has offered free IDs, transportation to get the ID. We'll come to you to give you your ID. So the fact that the argument has been many times that this is this is an issue that is not going to allow a certain segment of the population to participate in voting is crazy to me.
Well, forget about the national ramifications. Just locally, if you live in, I don't know, Prince George's County, that means if you don't have to show an ID, you can come to Frederick County and vote on Frederick County things. I mean, how's that fair? If you live in Frederick County, you should only be able to vote in Frederick County for Frederick County laws and stuff like that. Not if you live in PG County. One of the reasons why you need to show an ID, not just at the national level.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we also talked about that's what the city charter's looking at, that to allow voters that who aren't citizens to vote in Frederick City elections. Now,
well, it's happening across the country. I think actually PG County allows that as well. Local elections, they're allowed to vote in local elections.
Right. But if you own property, like say, you own property in Frederick, but if you don't live inside the city of Frederick, but you pay taxes, you can't vote.
Yeah,
I don't,
right.
And you have more to stake than somebody else.
Right.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's just, it's not right. It really isn't. We need to fix that, but I don't think we will ever get it fixed.
No, because there's too many people who benefit from being able to, there's too many people that can benefit the other way. And it's sad, and it's really watering down the benefit of being a citizen in this country.
Absolutely. I mean, the great thing about our country, and especially take a look at the news at all these other countries, we have the freedom to vote for whoever we want to vote for in this country. And that's a freedom that, unfortunately, a lot of Americans don't see because they don't see the other side. They've never been to other countries where they don't have that freedom. Yeah. And we should be thankful that we have that freedom.
Yes, we should. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And again, it's a government website. It is not anything else. But if you go to ssa.gov/HHAV, you can search and find that information for yourself. All right. Well, that wasn't great news either, Chris. So thank you very much.
We'll start it off with some good news. But however, before I get the news real quickly, I wanted your opinion on something I'll ask you after the news because it's actually in the news. It's on the local level. Me and Bob had a good discussion about it this morning, talking about the downtown hotel they're looking at building. So I'd like, and again, we do this for the listeners and viewers. We'd like their opinion. That's what truly matters. So we'll do that after news. But some great news, and we broke this on WFMD. And actually, I'm proud to say that Chief Lando, when I was on stage at the 4th of July, he broke this when I was doing the Hometown Heroes interview. The Frederick Police Department will be appearing in the television documentary series On Patrol live, starting tomorrow, as a matter of fact, July 12th. Live airs Fridays and Saturday nights from 9 to midnight on Reels. The series is hosted and executive produced by Dan Adams with retired Tulsa Police Department Sergeant Sean Sticks Larkin and Deputy Sheriff Curtis Wilson. Together, they provide minute-by-minute live analysis as the show documents for viewers in real time the everyday work of police officers on patrol from diverse departments across America, now including Frederick. So we are so excited about that. And Bob booked Chief Lando tomorrow, right, Bob, on our show to talk about that.
You'll be on the show tomorrow. And Dan, I think if you join us, we'll come up together with some swag. And for the first person who can get arrested and say the Morning News Express or Good Morning Frederick, we'll give them, we'll give them a bumper sticker or something.
Yes, this is everybody's warning. You better Uber home. I better not see anybody I know on that show.
We'll give you a poster to put in your jail cell of WFMD. There you go.
Can you imagine watching and going, hey, I know them. Oh, I know them. I know them.
Yeah.
They're an elected official. Whoops.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know about them being here if it's a good thing or not, because they would only go places where kind of a lot of stuff happens. And
Well, I was going to say, as residents of Frederick, we know the streets to tell them to go on if they're looking for action, unfortunately, here in downtown Frederick. But nonetheless, big thing for Frederick. We're so excited.
Yeah, I think Chris mentioned this earlier.
Yeah, I want everybody
this
to
the
go
big
to the
time.
home of everything Frederick. Everybody wear your Good Morning Frederick swag, because maybe we can get caught on camera not being arrested or anything, but in the background with the brand out there.
Well, me and Bob will help you out. What we'll do is we'll get you some business. We'll go in front of Good Morning Frederick and remove the police as they
Yes.
come. That should get us arrested, and then the camera will be right on Good Morning Frederick.
I love it.
Man, no. The moon over Frederick or moon over Carroll Creek not coming from me. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. Getting back to other news here. Wolfsman. Your poor viewers. They're probably wondering what the heck is going on, Dani. What do you do with these guys on your show? A Wolfsman was found dead. Not good news. Tuesday evening, as a result of an all-terrain vehicle accident on his property. How sad. The Frederick County Sheriff's Office said in an email on Wednesday. Sheriff's Office spokesperson Tim Clark wrote that the man was 63 years old, but the agency is not publicly identifying him. At approximately 6 p.m. on Tuesday, emergency personnel responded to a call for service in the 12900 block of Spruce Run Road. According to Clark, the caller was a member of the deceased man's family. Shortly after emergency personnel arrived, the man was found dead underneath his ATV. Clark wrote, the office of the chief medical examiner was called to assist. According to Clark, there was no suspicious circumstances around the man's death. So that's really a heartbreaking story. He's probably having fun on his ATV. An accident happened, and now he lost his life.
Terrible.
Yes.
Always a good reason to ride with somebody else, even if you're doing, whatever. It's always good to ride with somebody else.
Yes, for sure.
A Hagerstown man is going to prison for a long time. In Frederick County Circuit Court on Wednesday, Lukman Khalil Abdulajo Bello, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, 31, was sentenced to life plus 15 years incarceration for attempted first-degree murder, several firearms offenses, and fleeing police. Now, this goes to show you what our police has to go through, law enforcement has to go through. Bello was convicted of those charges in a trial in February 2024. The state attorney's office says Bello was arrested on March 18th, 2022, during the early morning hours. A deputy tried to get Bello to pull over on 270 near Route 85, but Bello refused to stop, and he was going at a ridiculous 94 miles per hour. Jeez. Bello.
Thank God nobody was hurt.
Yes. And that's what me and Bob always talk about. People, they drive on these roads. There's families driving. Stupid. Just no, plain stupid. Anyway, Bello exited the interstate and stopped his vehicle in the King Crest Apartments area. He fled on foot. The foot pursuit continued to Rooks Court, where Bello then pulled out a handgun and fired on the pursuing deputy. Deputy First Class Christian Licenti, who returned fire, striking Bello. Deputy First Class Licenti administered emergency medical assistance to Bello. Other deputies arrived on the scenes and provided emergency medical treatment to Bello, who was transferred to the University of Maryland Shock Trauma. After he was released, Bello was taken to the Frederick County Adult Detention Center. And real quickly, I want to say, you see that? Somebody shooting at this deputy. He returns fire to protect himself, then gives treatment to the individual that was shooting at the deputy. This is why they are heroes and amazing people.
Yeah. Well, the guy should be lucky he's only going to prison and not
underground.
not unalive anymore.
Right.
Absolutely.
The Montgomery County Police Major Crimes Division is investigating the death of a 45-year-old male who was found inside an apartment in the 114th block of Stewart Lane at approximately 1:06 a.m. on Tuesday, July 9, 2024. Third District officers responded to the address for a fight in progress. Upon arrival, officers met with 46-year-old Wesley Cooper of Gaithersburg. Officers then located an adult male inside the apartment. He was pronounced dead on the scenes. The body has been transported to the Office of Chief Medical Examiner, where an autopsy will be conducted to determine the cause and manner of death. Cooper was taken into custody and charged with second-degree and first-degree murder. He is currently held at the Montgomery County Central Processing Unit, awaiting a bond hearing. The deceased name will be released following the proper notification of next of kin. And also, me and Bob were talking about this, and again, we wanted your opinion after whether the proposed hotel downtown Frederick is actually moving a lot quicker than we thought. News came out about that yesterday. And real quickly, taking a look at weather. Today, sun and clouds mixed with a high around 90. Tonight, there'll be some clouds, low of 69. Tomorrow, you'll see rain, high near 80. Chance of rain is about 70%. Rainfall near 1/4 of an inch. Tomorrow evening, cloudy with showers, low of 72. And Dani, real quickly, getting back to that downtown hotel, something me and Bob discussed pretty heavily, and we discussed a lot. After Bob gives sports, I'd love your opinion and your viewers' opinions on if it's a good idea to have that hotel down there.
All right. Well, we'll let Bob give the sports, and then we'll chat about that.
All right, and then sports, it's going to be another bad night for the Orioles. They went 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They got beat by the Chicago Cubs by a score of 4-0. Jose Iglesias had 3 more hits, including a 2-run single that snapped a 6-inning tie and vaulted the Mets over the Nationals 6-2 on Wednesday night. Major League Baseball Draft League, which is where the Frederick Keys play, they got beat by the West Virginia Black Bears by a score of 3-2. They couldn't muster a whole lot of offense. They're coming back tonight at 7 o'clock. Same 2 teams. They're just going to be in Frederick tonight. And congratulations going out to the Thurmont Little League. They advanced to the District 2 championship. They staved off elimination with a 5-2 victory over Fort County Little League on Wednesday. Here's the hard part. Now they got to beat the Montgomery County Little League upper twice to advance to the state tournament for the first time since 2017. And FC Frederick soccer team in the National Premier Soccer League Mid-Atlantic Conference semifinals, they got beat by Annapolis by a score of 5-0, which ends their season. And finally, on another sad note in baseball, Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco has been formally charged with sexually abusing a 14-year-old girl in the Dominican Republic. The most serious charges will be facing is rape, for which he could receive sentences between 10 and 15 years in prison, and human trafficking, which is punishable in the Dominican Republic by 15 to 20 years.
What are they thinking?
I don't know. They're not thinking.
No, they're definitely not. All
and
right,
he's going to that Dominican prison where it's not like over here, boy. It's not going to be fun for him, and he deserves every bit of what he gets.
Sure. All right, this hotel. So, it's so funny. I think when I first moved to Frederick, they talked about this hotel, and that was our first move back in 2007. So what is happening now?
Well, I mean, you're just now trying to move forward with it. I did find out that the original Frederick News Post building, or what they call the trolley building, is going to stay in the hands of the Randalls. This is all going to be built behind it.
It is?
Yep. The aldermen are going to look at the proposals. They're getting money in. It looks like it's just going to be kind of moving forward. It was in the comprehensive plan for a long time when it comes to the Carroll Creek area. I just don't know, my opinion, personal opinion, not the station's, not yours, not anybody else's. I don't know if we need it. I think it will help, but I think if people are in a conference center, I don't know. I don't go to too many conferences, so I wouldn't know how far somebody's going to walk down the street to go visit the area. Just usually they end up staying in a hotel.
Well, here's the thing. I haven't looked at this in quite some time. I believe that the bone of contention is that taxpayer money is being utilized to fund a private owned thing, right? Isn't that the issue?
Well, they're getting money. The money that would be coming from taxpayers is going to take care of roads. That was what most of what I hear is going to take care of the infrastructure. That the Plamondons are spending a whole lot of money building the hotel.
Right.
But I think the infrastructure is coming in from the city, and of course, they're building. They're asking for money to help them out. I think a little bit, but I don't think it's a whole lot of money for that. And I could be wrong. I usually am.
My question
Ask
is
my wife.
My question is, and what I'm concerned about is Frederick a big enough to where they'll get enough business from travelers to actually stay there and generate enough income, and actually have a lot of people, a lot of travelers going around and going to local businesses. We know most of the locals won't be using the hotel unless for weddings and stuff like that, but their hope is to get business travelers over here. Will it be busy enough to support that? That's what I think that's the problem is. I don't think it will be.
Well, as an events person, I love the fact that there would be a large event space available because we do not have one. I know that Union Mills is doing an amazing, I think they would be mad if this went in, because I think it would affect their business of event hosting right now. And I'd love to hear what they have to say about it. You know, would it be full of at first? Of course, I think it would be. I think it would fill up. I don't go to a lot of conferences, but you know, I do think if you have a conference with 100 or 200 people and a lot are staying at the hotel, I do think the downtown area would be impacted in a positive way. But again, what about the downtown merchants? Are they going to be upset because there's a 200-person conference and there's only parking for 100 cars, and where do the rest go? And then the other thing I think I saw the con about was the back of the hotel is what you'll actually see from Patrick Street,
Really?
right? It's like the front, the beauty part is going to be at the front, which is on the creek. And what people didn't like about the design was that the road-facing design is all your loading dock and your, you know what I mean? Which happens a lot in cities. But yeah, I don't know. I thought, actually, for some reason, I thought it was going to extend all the way from the creek to Patrick. But if it's between the old News Post building and the creek, if it's that land, yeah, then it'll be interesting to see. I'll have to revisit and see.
Somebody said, I read something with the Randalls were going to be able to keep that trolley building, and they were going to turn it into retail shops, things like that. So, well, I mean, you know, it'd be cool if they can do it. If they were going to do it, they should have done it already. Maybe, I don't know. It's a lot, and you know, maybe Chris and I can start a pedal bike company that will take people up and down the creek.
I used to do that in Baltimore.
I'm not sure for that.
I did, and that one hill up near Charles Street was a killer. It was a killer. I can still remember how horrible that was. Yes, but all right. Well, I'd love to hear what our viewers have to say about what they think about this project. It's going to come right back into current news, I guess, sooner rather than later. So I'd love to hear what people think. And we appreciate you guys every morning. I appreciate the stuff you bring.
We appreciate you putting up with us.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Take care, Dani.
With him, right down there, right there.
Oh, boy. Yeah, a lot happening. I would love to hear your thoughts on the hotel project here in downtown Frederick. I do believe it's going to look, again, you can't please everybody, so we just have to try to do what we can. All right, let me talk quickly about giveaways, and then we're going to get to the important stuff, which are the great people I talked to recently. All right, we got those fast smash passes for Crash and Catharsis. If you've got some pent-up frustration, here's a great way to get it out. There'll be 5 winners selected tomorrow night, and you just text that word SMASH. Oh, I'll put the number up along the bottom. I always forget that. There you go. You can win Maryland Lottery scratch-offs. Just text MDL. Tree Trekkers 3-hour pass. Just text that word tree. And 4 tickets to any regular season Keys game. Just text Keys to 888-465-2944. You can also text how you feel about the downtown Frederick Hotel project. I don't think it's been going. I don't know if it's been going since 2007 when we moved back here, but I feel like it has. So, love to hear the pros and cons of that. And I do think we kind of came up with a solution about the events down on Carroll Creek. And so maybe we can come up with a solution for them on this hotel thing. All right, we're going to take one quick break, and then we'll be back with Renee and Greg. They are coming up just right after this.
All-in-One Events is Frederick's #1 source for event rentals and entertainment. Please visit us on the web at www.aioeventgroup.com or call 1-888-727-8902 for more information.
Real estate goddess, yeah. She's the one to get you there. Homes and dreams of blood.
Shop is open. Join Habitat for Humanity of Frederick County, Maryland for the 9th annual Blue Crabs and Blueprints celebration on Saturday, August 24th at the Walkersville Carnival Grounds. This family-friendly day includes crabs from JB Seafood, food trucks, live music, and yard games. This fun-filled day supports Habitat's home repair and home build programs, making a difference year-round right here in Frederick County. Crabs must be pre-ordered by August 19th, so don't delay. Get your crabs now for this Maryland-style crab feed.
A&S Construction, a local and award-winning woman and minority-owned business, and they're right here in Frederick. They specialize in roofing and siding, and they can also replace windows, fix your gutters or replace them, and take care of your patio and deck. Call 301-703-2157 or email info@ansconstruction.net. You can visit them online as well at ansconstruction.net or look them up on Facebook. Sandra has been posting some amazing pictures of the work that they have done. They may have been right in your neighborhood at one point or another. A&S Construction is now offering Good Morning Frederick viewers $750 off any roof or siding replacement, or $50 off any roof repairs, and I bet she will extend that special offer to any project you have done. So let her know I said so. Call Sandra today, 301-703-2157. All right, let's talk about what's happening here in our great town of Frederick. Happening in Frederick is sponsored by Taco Bar. It's Birria Thursday at Taco Bar. Taco Bar is at West Point Plaza on Route 40, right between 40 and alternate 40, so up near what we would call the top end. Birria is slow-cooked, shredded beef, served in a variety of ways. And you can get it on your tacos with melted cheese and pair it with some consommé, which is that beef broth made from the same birria juices. They offer birria tacos, queso birria, pizza birria, torta birria, birria fries, and more. Remember, Taco Bar only has birria available on Thursdays because they want to cook it perfectly and make sure you enjoy. TacoBar1.com for more information about that. All right, if you want to know what is happening in Frederick, there's only one place you need to go, and that is the Everything Frederick calendar. And that you can find anytime at promocircus.com, and then click on Everything Frederick Live, and then click on calendar, and you will be able to see everything that is happening. I wanted to make sure you were aware, that today is YMCA's job fair. It is from 3 to 6 p.m. today. They are looking to fill, I believe, 17 positions. There will be interviews conducted on site. They have things like a group fitness instructor, a Head Start teacher, personal trainer, school-age child care aide, director, teacher, a school-age community coordinator, swim instructor, youth sports league referees. Goodness gracious. So, lots of jobs available at the downtown Y. Go to YMCA, I think it's frederickymca.org, or you can visit our calendar. Look them up on social. They posted this information there as well. That is today from 3 to 6. Also, this weekend, I'm going to just jump right to Saturday, which is the high wheel race. Now, you can go at 11 at City Hall, right on the grounds. They're having a lawn party starting at 11. The race actually starts at noon. At noon, the race begins. There are 2 qualifying heats and then the final race, and that wraps up at 3 p.m. I have never been before, so I am going this year. Now, I have to pick up my brother at the airport with my nephew, and I think we're going to come straight there with Mama Cone, so I will have all of my gear ready to check it out and enjoy. Also, there is a, McClintock Distilling is doing a pig roast I believe. Yep, I think that is. Oh, they are, yes, free pork. Goodness, they're doing a new bottle release this Saturday from noon to 9 p.m. We love McClintock. They are amazing. If you've never been there, you should check it out. But they are doing a really cool event this Saturday as well. And let's see what we got. I know that there is something else I wanted to talk about, but mostly, yeah, August 1st. August 1st, we're going to jump to August 1st because, I keep forgetting I can do it this way. Much easier, probably on your eyes as well. All right, August 1st, we want to talk about the 6 o'clock Distillery Dash. Distillery Dash is Charm City Run event where they raise money for Mount Olivet preservation. And it's a 2-mile run walk. Happens at 6 p.m., just $10 to do it, and all the money goes to the Mount Olivet Preservation. Our friend Kristen at Charm City Run wants you to join her because there are only, I think, like 80 positions available, right? Because they can't do too much over there. So, and then there's an after party at McClintock's Back Bar. So, go register, find the link, and there's a ticket sign up link on the calendar as well. August 1st, 6 to 7:30 p.m. You have to be able to do the 2 miles, I think, within an hour or an hour and a half. So check that out as well. And then don't forget, coming up August 17th, Saturday, Climbing for a Cause benefits Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society. And that is happening at Tree Trekkers. And that is 9 a.m. It's open to close, basically. You can buy your tickets to climb or just buy your viewing ticket, your guest pass, let's say, and that money goes to support the American Cancer Society Relay for Life of Frederick and Washington counties. So, yeah, you can search on this calendar. You can actually get it for yourself just by going to promocircus.com. And there's, always something happening here in Frederick. I have a ton of events on here, but if you want your event mentioned, email it to everythingfredericklive@gmail.com. We'll add it to the calendar, and we'll make sure to share it as much as we can. All right, we're going to move quickly to our market makers. And we love the people who are making the market happen. Here we go. CK Nails is a brand new advertiser. We want to thank them. And Market Makers is sponsored by CK Nails, your full-service nail and spa salon, offering manicures, pedicures, facials, waxing, eyelash extensions, and more. And when I interviewed them, I had to ask what the heck an eyelash extension was, but they will explain it to you when you go there. It looks more natural, apparently. Go to cknailsfrederick.com where you can get pricing, book your appointment, and see a full list of services. cknailsfrederick.com. All right, Renee Deliscavage provides music and voice lessons to kids and adults. She utilizes technology in an awesome way to help students practice between visits, and she has courses that are all online as well. We chat about how her lessons have given some local moms an escape as well. Here she is, Renee. Urbana with Renee. Renee's music studio. I, first of all, can't believe you've been teaching for 20 years. You don't even look 20. So that's amazing to me in itself. You're a mom of 3 kids?
3 boys.
3 boys. Do any of them play piano or sing?
We're still working on that. Yeah, they're young enough, but there's still potential.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think anytime parents do anything, it's the first thing they reject for a while, and then they might come back around, which is great. You teach out of your home and online. Mm-hmm. I think the technology part is pretty cool, because when I was a kid and took piano lessons, it was like once a week, and then you had to kind of almost relearn when you got back to the piano the week later, and this is able to keep things fresh.
Yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit about kind of what got you to this point. Were you teaching in schools before? Like, were you a music teacher, or how did that come about?
I wasn't. So I've always done private lessons, done like some group classes here and there, like homeschool music, things like that. I actually have like a mommy and me, parent and me kind of class that I teach through Frederick County Parks and Rec. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always done private lessons. And then recently I actually started working on a skill myself as an adult. And as I worked with my coach, she said, okay, Renee, this is what I want you to work on, and see you next week. And I was like, whoa. I'm not going to do well with this. Like, I don't want to be practicing this incorrectly. I have to relearn it. Just what you just said about piano, right? Yeah. And so I said, okay, how can we make this work? She said, send me a video of what you're doing, and I'll give you my feedback. It was fantastic. Yeah. So I was getting, this feedback that I could implement right away. It made me feel so much confident about my practice time. It was actually effective, and I was making progress so much more quickly. And so I thought to myself, what if I did something like this with my own students? Yeah. So that is part of the program. My program is called Piano 360 and Voice 360. And so because it's kind of this full circle of education, we've got these other avenues in which the students are going to learn outside of just the 30-minute or 45-minute private lesson. Yeah. So the students, they send me a video of them playing their song or singing their song, and then I send them a video with my feedback. And they can watch that video as many times as they want, take notes, and keep learning from that throughout the week.
Yeah, and then they kind of have this storage of things that they can refer back to. That's great. And I agree with you 100%. When somebody tells me something and says, okay, now go do it, I'm petrified, because you're overwhelmed at the time anyway, and you're trying to learn and do things, and you want it to be accurate. Did you play piano as a child till adulthood? Okay.
Yeah. So I took piano lessons. That was something that me and my brothers, we all did that. Yeah. But my instrument that I always kind of went towards was singing. Okay. Always sang. Grew up in church, so had lots of opportunities to sing in church. That was my thing. I was just telling somebody today how my guidance counselor in high school, she said, Renee, you're trying to major in music in high school. And I'm like, well, what was wrong with that? Like, here I am. My business is a music business. So I took all the music classes I could.
There you go. So you are really now looking to expand to adults.
Absolutely.
And I think that is wonderful. And we spent some time talking about it, but I'd love for you to share kind of with everybody that, what you feel like this can give moms maybe who are kind of looking to connect maybe with something they did when they were younger, or something brand new.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, an adult mom actually came to me and wanted to learn piano. So we started working together, and after a few months, she said, Renee, this is really my therapy. She said, I love practicing piano because I'm not thinking about my kids. I'm not thinking about all the many things I have to do, my job, all these things. And she's like, I'm just in the moment of playing this song. Yeah. And it was just so beautiful. I was just so touched by that and honored to be a part of that for her. Yeah. And I thought, I want to give that to other women. You know, as women, we kind of tend to take on all of the things. And so it's like when you're learning a new instrument, whether it's piano or whether it's singing, now you have something that's yours, like that space where you can grow and you can nurture something that you can take pride in and really kind of be that therapy for you.
Yeah, and you were even saying, like, it's not necessarily that you want to go hit the road and be on Broadway or any of that. It's really just a time to decompress, kind of. And I know for me, and probably most women, if you don't have the appointment to make the time, you won't make the time. So you can say, oh, I could just learn on blah, blah, blah. But if knowing you have kind of a standing appointment or a standing lesson or things like that, it's going to give you a little bit more of that drive to do it.
When
Yeah.
you have the accountability
Yeah.
to make it a priority.
Yeah, excellent. And do you do the same thing with your adults who are learning you the video and they send videos and then you can? That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's a very similar setup. And then we also have an app where they have their assignments. So in there, there's a video for everything that they're working on so that they can help them to progress throughout the week. Because one of the other things that, there's a lot of great things about private lessons. However, like you said, you kind of walk away from that lesson and you might forget some things until the next week.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to build something that was motivating students to keep practicing throughout the week. So having these videos like, oh, I forgot how the song goes.
Yeah.
Play, there I am, helping them through the song, and now they can keep going.
Yeah, that's amazing. Very organized, all focused around success for the student, no matter the age, and conveniently located right down in Urbana. It didn't take me long at all to get down here. And of course, if you live in this area, it's perfect for you. And whether it's children, but even more so adults, this is going to give you something to really look forward to. So where can people find out more about you and what you're doing?
Yeah, so my website is reneesmusicstudio.com. And then I do have a website that is for my online program as well for adult women, and that is reneedelvoice.com.
Okay, awesome. What is your biggest challenge that you've had to overcome? Has there been anything really significant that you feel like, oh, if I could have just, done that?
Okay, that's a good question. I think the biggest challenge that I have had is there has been a season of my life when I wasn't performing very much. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, who am I to be teaching people if I'm not out performing? And meanwhile, I have my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old and my baby running around.
Yeah.
And so throughout now in this season, I'm able to perform a lot. And it's great. I do think that it is enhancing my teaching. I don't think that there was anything wrong with my teaching back then either.
Yeah, I'm sure not. I'm sure not.
but yeah,
I'm sure that was a self-evaluation.
Absolutely.
And we do this very often. And same, it's happened to me too. So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular goal or objective you'd like to achieve by the end of this year?
End of this year. So I have a program that is designed for women who want to just grow in their ability to sing online specifically. And so my goal is to really get some women in that program that it's going to benefit them. Not just their voice, but them as a person.
Yeah. And so how does that program online work? So how many women could you have in that program? Is that kind of unlimited because it's online? Is it self-paced? So they explain a little bit.
Yeah, it is specifically 8 weeks. So each week we do like the first half of our time together, we talk about a specific topic related to singing. Then the second half of that time together, we're actually applying that, going through some vocal exercises and technique to work on. And then throughout the week, they send me videos so that they're receiving my feedback throughout the week. And then they have a number of warm-up videos and other things that I've put together for them as well.
Fantastic. Where can people see? Do you perform around here now?
Yes, I do. So I perform with a friend of mine. His name is Paul Barrios.
Okay.
And so you can find us on Instagram. It's Park Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, we love Stone Silo.
Okay.
That's our favorite place. So check out Park Valley on Instagram and you'll see where we're going to be.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, 80s, 90s covers.
Oh, I
Fun
love
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cover?
So we've been doing Edge of 17. We do a couple of Stevie Nicks.
See, we're going to have to come see her sing as well. Check out reneesmusicstudio.com for your kids, for yourself. Look, there is no age limit on musical capability, right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
just getting a little confidence, even when you're singing in the car or things like that, would be a lot of fun. So check her out. She's amazing. And I know we're going to be hearing a lot from her coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. All right. Want to thank Renee. How adorable is she? I just loved her energy. And so if your kids need lessons and if they can do virtual, how great is that? And if you want to learn to sing, maybe just carry the tune. Maybe you want to wow everybody at karaoke. I don't know, whatever that is. All right. We're going to take one more quick break. Then I'm going to introduce you to a really cool person of Frederick, Greg Morton. And that's coming up right after this.
Elevate your next party with Dreamscape Slumber Events. Over 12 themes and customization available for kids, teens, and adults to enjoy. Don't have the space? We have solutions for that too. Search Dreamscape Slumber Events on Facebook.
Dream Free Art, Frederick's first and only splatter room. New location, new beginner-friendly artful shenanigans for all ages. Come fling paint and make a masterpiece in Dream Free Art's splatter room, or join us for a fun and unique art experience. Book your next birthday party, corporate event, date night, or family outing at dreamfreeart.com to unleash your inner artist today. Dream Free Art. Free your creativity.
The Crab Shop is open. Join Habitat for Humanity of Frederick County, Maryland for the 9th Annual Blue Crabs and Blueprints Celebration on Saturday, August 24th at the Walkersville Carnival Grounds. This family-friendly day includes crabs from JB Seafood, food trucks, live music, and yard games. This fun-filled day supports Habitat's home repair and home build programs, making a difference year-round right here in Frederick County. Crabs must be pre-ordered by August 19th, so don't delay. Get your crabs now for this Maryland-style crab feed.
All right, now let's move right to people of Frederick. I have to pull up. I was not prepared. I don't know why. I thought I did all of this morning. But anyway, we are going to, here we go. People of Frederick. All right, yeah, that's the reason I had to get it going, because new sponsor alert. People of Frederick, this segment is sponsored by Candles by B&L, specializing in handcrafted soy wax scented candles using the finest ingredients. They're beautiful candles free from harmful chemicals, making them safe for you and the environment. Candles by B&L, woman, minority, and veteran owned. Go to candlesbybnl.com. Their goal is to light up your mood, one candle at a time. Let me just tell you, the candles are gorgeous. You can pick some up at the Home of Everything Frederick starting today when we open after 11. All right, first of all, I called Greg Gary when I met him because I didn't realize his dad was also scheduling an interview, and I just kept seeing the last name of Morton, and I got the two confused. So that's why you're going to see the funny listing under his title during the segment when I start it. But Greg Morton is certainly an individual in his own right. He's an amazing guy, and at the core, he's all about giving back, and he's been doing that for our community since he was 14 years old. So please, for sure, it is Greg Morton. I'd like to introduce you to a fine person of Frederick. The home of everything Frederick. I'm with Greg.
So you got
Gary Morton.
Gary Morton and Greg Morton. Yep.
Yes. Sorry. Greg,
Right.
you guys were featured in Frederick Lifestyle last month in the men's edition, Fathers and Sons, and you kind of took your father's footsteps in career-wise.
I did. He never really pushed it. He supported it always.
Yeah.
But he never said, you're going to do this.
Yeah,
because I did
smart.
this.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to make my own decision. And but it was something I remember just as a young child dressing up as RoboCop and walking around the house. It was something I always wanted to do. And
yeah.
Started as they call them police cadets now, but as an explorer.
Oh, that's what they were called?
We used to be called explorers because they used to be a part of the Boy Scouts of America. and they got away from that. Now they're just police cadets.
Oh,
Same
wow.
program, same education. They just changed the title.
Okay.
But I started that on my 14th birthday.
So is that still around today?
Yep.
So when you're 14, you
Yeah,
can...
at 14, at least with the sheriff's office, at 14, you can go be
Okay.
a police cadet, and you get a uniform, you do physical training, you do scenarios, you get educated by different branches of law enforcement, like our narcotics officers and our detectives and
Wow.
the patrol guys. We all come in and teach. And
What a great way to kind of get a taste of it, to see, well, you do love it,
Do you
or
like
you
this or
don't
not?
really like it,
Yeah.
and then you might want to look for something else.
And even then, it's a program that helps people that have never had a law enforcement interaction or an interaction that might not have been quite so favorable, or they have a bad taste in their mouth about it,
Right.
to learn that we're people. and,
Yes.
we're here to help you.
Yes.
And this is what we do, and this is why we act the ways we act sometimes.
Sure.
These are why we're asking these questions.
Right.
It's not because we just feel like it.
Yeah.
There's a means to the end.
Yes, it's going to kind of sound like a dumb question, but how difficult is the job right now versus when you got in?
Almost 16 years ago.
16 years ago.
Almost 16
Yeah.
years, yeah. So I started with Frederick City Police in 2008, and then
Yeah.
my first day with the Sheriff's Office was Christmas Eve of 2010.
Yeah.
I don't think the job has necessarily got more difficult. It's definitely a thinking person's game now. It's not as simple
Right.
anymore. New laws have been instituted throughout the years that have not made it difficult, but at the same time kind of have.
Yeah,
To
a
do
little
our- To
challenging,
do our
yeah.
jobs, it makes us learn more. We have to learn something new on top of all the
Yeah.
other stuff that we already know
Yeah.
have to do. So I would say it's difficult in the sense that we don't have as much support anymore. I'm not saying that Frederick County doesn't support law enforcement, because an overwhelming majority of the people that live here, the citizens that live here, do. But there has definitely been a shift in
Yeah.
how we're looked at and how people interact with us on the regular.
Yeah.
I can definitely tell that, especially driving through communities.
Sure.
Kids used to run up to our cars and
Yeah.
want to play with the lights and sirens, and some still absolutely do, but
Right.
some are, I think, scared and a not so well-informed perspective on us.
Yes,
Um,
yes. And I know you guys work really hard through a lot of community outreach programs
Absolutely.
to help alleviate that initial sense of whether it's fear or kind of introducing you guys as human, which you are, and
Yeah, we're all-
as parents and as, members of the community, rather than not a friendly interaction.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know that's tough. And
It's tough and it's sad sometimes.
Yeah.
It does bother me, and I'm kind of one of the cliche. I got into this to help people. I really did.
Yeah.
I truly did get.
I mean,
into
I
this
think that
profession
is
to help.
99% of every law enforcement person
Absolute-
I've spoken with. It is
absolutely.
really about keeping a community safe,
Yep.
helping the members of the community, and
I grew
doing
up
that.
here.
Yeah.
My family grew up here. I live here still with my family and
Right.
my wife and kids.
Yeah.
And I want to do everything to keep them safe and
Yeah.
everybody else safe.
Yeah. What can Frederick do as a community to continue to support the efforts that you personally and as a profession are making?
Just talk to us.
Yeah.
Really, it's social interaction. And I am not shy. I love to talk to people. I love getting out of my cruiser and getting around and talking to people and going
Yeah.
on foot patrols. And if I see kids playing basketball or kicking a soccer ball or playing baseball, I'll get out and play with them.
Yeah.
I just enjoy doing stuff like
Yeah.
that, engaging with the community, but we would also ask that they engage with us.
Right.
And ask questions. We love to answer questions. Hey,
Yeah.
why do you guys, do this? Or why
Right.
do you guys, stand like that or do this? And
Yeah.
if it doesn't put us in danger, we're going to absolutely tell you. And I think that 95 to 99% of the time, people are like, oh, I never thought about it like
Right.
that. And
Right, it's giving a perspective that most citizens would not think about, you
correct,
know.
yes.
Yeah.
And we do ride-alongs.
I was just
We
going to
do a
say, I
ride-along
did a
program.
ride along.
Yep.
I think it was probably 1990, maybe.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It's definitely changed a little
Yeah,
bit.
I
since then.
bet,
Yeah,
I
just
bet.
the cars and the technology and the vehicles
Yes.
and our uniforms have
Yes.
changed dramatically. since
100%,
then.
100%. But I do remember a couple of calls that we went on that evening, and it was eye-opening. Like, it literally does help you understand why a police officer approaches a car a certain way and why they don't come straight on and face in, and there's just a lot of things to keep yourself safe,
Right.
and to keep the citizens you're interacting with safe.
And that's the end goal.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go home.
Right.
At the end of the day, we want
Right.
to go home to our families. We want you to go home to your family.
Right. Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
just get along.
Yeah.
Deal with what we
Let's
have
make
at
it
hand
right.
and move on.
Right,
It's
exactly.
not personal.
It is
it's a
not
job.
personal. That's right. Yeah, and that's what I think everybody should remember. And it's kind of one of those things that when you have people who have had interactions with law enforcement maybe several times, that they don't look at things the same way, and it's hard for you. You got to say, just do what needs to be done to come home, and then you can deal with everything else later, right?
Correct. And I think on our behalf, our standpoint, just being a police officer, if we explain things to people when safe to do so, obviously, but if there's the time and opportunity to do so, hey, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that alleviates a lot of the question and some of the anxiety and fear.
Right.
And I've noticed that on just basic interactions, traffic stops, or any, I hate to say routine call, but
Right.
if I have the time and opportunity to safely do so for everybody, explain, hey, look, this is why I'm doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because I can. I'm
Yeah.
not doing it because I want to.
Yeah.
But this is
This is
why I
what
need
led
this
to
to
where
happen.
we
This is
are.
what's led up to this, and this is
Yeah.
why, and this is where we're going with this.
Yes.
So, and a lot of people, whether they like it or not, understand that.
Yes.
And it just removes another factor.
Yeah.
So.
What have you noticed, obviously growing up here to where you are today, the change in Frederick? What's been good about the change in Frederick?
It's got bigger. So I grew up, I have to say, I grew up on a farm on the southern end of the county in Urbana, Imesville area. And living down there, growing up, there was nothing.
Right.
There was a little shopping center,
Yeah.
the Crack Claw. Urbana High School was still brand new.
Yes.
And that was really it.
Yeah.
And I watched it develop. And at first, and don't get me wrong, I still love the farmland. I still
Yeah.
love
Of
what I grew
course.
up with. But it did bring a whole bunch of different people
Yes.
into the county. So the growth has been a good thing. I do enjoy that. And I like seeing new stuff. So that's one thing I've really liked. And then just the cooperation between agencies and communication has changed dramatically. The fire department used to do now we always got along, but the fire department did their thing, and the city police did their thing, and Brunswick Thermite, they all did their own thing.
Yeah.
But now with technology, we have this open line of communication with each other all the time, and I really like that.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure it makes the job easier at times when you need that support from other
infinitely.
agencies or things like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
infinitely better.
Yeah, yeah.
Being able to talk to each other in real time is a big thing.
Growing up as a law enforcement, a child of a law enforcement agent, what was that like for you?
It was my whole life, so I didn't know better. I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
It was scary sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm in that generation where I grew up and saw, 9/11, and we saw the active shooter, the sniper, the Beltway sniper, and seeing my dad have to run out the door with his equipment on and gear up and then be gone for days on end.
Right.
That was worrisome.
Yeah.
And then, just media and watching, media was pretty much non-existent then, but police movies where the police officer gets shot and injured, and then you think, well, could that happen?
Holy cow.
Could that happen to my dad?
Yeah.
And so you would worry.
Yeah.
But we always knew he had the best, very well trained. He was in great shape, still is.
Yeah. Does he challenge you every now and then?
No, we've always. And that's one of the great
foot
things.
race down the street.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
My brother's a police officer as well, and we never were competitive, but we never got competitive with the job.
Right.
Because we've all done very different things.
Okay.
Within our careers.
Yeah.
But no challenges. And every once in a while we'll look at each other and kind of egg each other on if we're target practicing.
Of course you have to.
Yep.
What do you guys compete? Like sports? Is there
So we grew up
cornhole?
Basketball, and baseball, target practice, stuff like that. My dad was actually my basketball and baseball coach for a couple years.
Yeah. How did you like that? My father coached my brother.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. And my dad, he's you'll meet him here, and he's got this presence about him. He's a very big strong guy.
Yeah.
And he just kind of, when he walks in the room, you're kind of like,
you notice.
he's there. And, but he's one of the nicest human beings I've ever met as well. And he taught me from the jump, you give everybody respect. It doesn't matter, you know, treat everybody how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Give people respect.
Yeah.
And you'll get respect back.
Yeah.
But there's also a time that it's time to be serious.
Yeah.
And the ship can sail a little bit. And that was to keep me safe in this job.
Yeah.
But he's such a nice guy. And he does a lot of community stuff. He grew up here in the city and lived in the county his whole life. And he served 35 years with the sheriff's office and retired as a commander, as a major.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of him.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
I can tell. And that's very, very cool.
He's a phenomenal role model.
Yeah.
So I've got very big shoes to fill.
Well, that's always nice, you know, when you have somebody like that. And it's, you know, unfortunate that some kids don't have that opportunity. What would you like to achieve in your next few years of service? Are there any goals you have that you'd like to achieve before you retire or look to something else?
Just leave the community in a better place than it was when I started.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, you know, if you make a mess, you clean it up, you borrow something from somebody, make sure it's nicer than when
return
they gave it to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I look at it the same way because this job has been very physically and mentally demanding throughout its years on me, but it's also given me a lot as well. It has given me a lot. I've learned a lot. I've experienced more than most ever will, just because of some of the situations that I've put in. I would just like to see a better dichotomy between police and the community again.
Yeah.
Where, you know, the old school, you know, the police officers walking down the sidewalk and, hey, officer. It's not rare, but it's much more rare than it used to be. I'd like to see that come back. I'd like to see that, and I work very hard for that. And just, again, it comes down to social interaction and community engagement and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everything you do for this community, keeping us all safe, and there are those of us out there who wouldn't have the guts to do what you guys do, so we are very grateful that you're out there for us. And make sure when you see Greg, you say hello, and obviously while he's not engaging with something else, but when he's walking down the street, he welcomes you to stop and chat and ask him some questions. I think you'll be, you know, pleasantly surprised. He's human, he's a dad, he's a husband, and he wants to keep this community safe and leave it better than he found it. So we really thank you so much for this.
Thank you very
really
much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
How awesome. I hope he is inundated from viewers of Good Morning Frederick as he is out and about on his day, because nothing is going to make him feel better than just truly being thankful and grateful for his service, along with all of our other law enforcement service personnel and everyone else who gets up every day with the idea they're going to protect this community and make it better. And if you know somebody in the law enforcement or service personnel, fire department, any of those, please send them my way. I'd love to chat with them. And we will be chatting with Greg's dad, Gary. I talked to him recently, and we'll have him next week. And he's right. He is a big guy. He does have a great presence, and he is one of the nicest people I think I've met. So there you go. I agree with that. All right, tomorrow I revisit the OG interview, Sandra from Candles by B&L, and she shows me how the work is created, how these candles and masterpieces that she does. And Trisha has recently opened Swirls Ice Cream. It's an ice cream shop on 7th Street that I find out is way more than just ice cream. All right, we've got the Good Morning Frederick podcast available wherever you listen to your downloads, and we're on all the socials. So when you have a minute, search, follow, subscribe. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and all those platforms. Also, get out there. Have a great day. Say hello to a local police officer. Be nice to them for sure. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view. There's something special here, you feel it too. Morning Frederick, rise and shine. A city so lively, gotta make it mine. From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view. There's something special here, you feel it too. Your host, Dani.